What's Funky Boy Hoss, bros? Today I'm doing a Funky Boy Hoss rant on my Funky Boy Hoss Patreon for Funky Boy Hoss, who says rant about Zoomers and how rant about how Zoomers and Mediatok have ruined online media discussion. Um, yeah, this is a little bit true. I mean, media talk in general, like the thing is, I've always had a bone to pick with quote unquote media talk. I mean, even the name is just pretentious as all hell, and that's sort of their main MO over there. That's why they've become really obsessed with the word LARP recently, and now I kind of am too, as like a super ironic thing, but it's so dumb because they're always the biggest LARPers. The thing about media talk, and I've had a bone to pick with it for forever, as I said, but now it's sort of being drowned out by the fact that just all short form content in general is bringing about the death of society. Like I could talk for like 30 minutes and not even really scratch the surface of the deleterious effect that short form content has had on my brain and my life and my position in the world and ability to focus and think critically and examine things, and my own self-worth, how it all flows downstream from my lack of ability to focus due to being exposed to all that short-form content bullshit and excess at a young age. Like, that shit fucked me up. Like, my number one op is short-form content in general, and I'm still battling with it every day. But with media talk in general, I've been beefing since freshman year of high school, since I first got into anime, and I was first, trying to understand the medium better and come to appreciate why I like what I like in media, why I don't like what I don't like, what that says about me, how I can actually spin all of these introspective and analytical thoughts into something productive that can push my life forward meaningfully. All these thoughts I was having, nobody else on that side of TikTok was having them, and I check back every once in a while, and nobody ever is. It's a really big circle jerk. It's a lot of like vagaries and superlatives. Like anytime someone likes a show, they just they talk very vaguely about how it's the best show they've ever had the pleasure of laying eyes on, and it's just so chock full and filled to the brim. These are like a lot of buzzwords they use, with so many themes that are just so enriching. It's so thematically enriching, and a lot of times people will even just like basically ascribe psychological and philosophical like concepts to these shows. Lyrish FW anime was the biggest one back when I was really in my heyday on that side of TikTok. He was this guy who gained quite a following for every time he watched something new, he just had to speak of it in such an exaggerated manner to sell it. And he had a relative scale that was constantly changing because every month he had a new favorite thing, which is kind of beautiful in a way. If it wasn't bullshit, if I like ever believed him for a second, like he would always speak of these like philosophical and psychological concepts, and I'm like, just read a fucking textbook. But that was always his justification for why something's good, whether it be Hunter x Hunter, whether it be Bleach, or whether it be Homunculus or The World Is Mine or something like that. And it was clear that he just had other concepts that he wanted to explore, or he wasn't really necessarily like it always read to me that he didn't emotionally understand why the shows that connected with him, and he went down like the most like pseudo intellectual rabbit hole possible to try to justify them, which ended up screwing him, because by the end of it he ended up saying that the best piece of media he's ever consumed is something by the name of 433, or it might have been like 443 or some largely arbitrary interval of time that exists between 4 and 5 minutes. It's a classical song where there's no chords played. It's just 4.5 minutes of silence. There's not really that much grander context to it. It's just 4.5 minutes of silence. And so he attributed like the concept of silence to this specific piece. And he was like, it's the best anime, or it's not the best anime, it's the best media because it's infinitely interpretable. Infinite interpretability is one of the things I really appreciate in art. And, I can listen to 433 on my way to the gym. I can listen to it in the morning. I can listen to it while I'm falling asleep. It's like, because it didn't invent the concept of silence, you idiot, And so it ended up just being him chasing the next profound thing for the sake of itself, for the sake of presenting intellectual growth. and for the sake of seeming like the smartest guy in the room and making whatever you're currently interested in seem like the smartest thing in the room, and then it ended up coming and biting him in the back there. And then that's where all those contradictions start to boil up about things that these people don't really like, and then they talk about like objective versus subjective and what's more important, enjoyment or writing, and all those ridiculous conversations that don't deserve to exist beyond your fucking high school English class, because the answers are so fucking obvious and apparent. But they have all these concepts and contradictions, and everything starts to make so little sense that they just start LARPing. They start being like, oh, holy LARP, I'm a LARPer. I'm going to say I like this thing, even though I don't really, even though the truth is I think I really do, but I also can't tell if I really do. And it's just like irony poisoned bullshit that sprouts from the fact that TikTok is short form content. And while you can technically like write an essay on there, nobody who's scrolling that algorithm is really trying to read it. And the things that are going to blow up are always just takes. It's not your analysis. It's just your take. It's just, I like this. I don't like this. This is my tribe. I'm based. Are you based? This is my, it's just, you know, it's vapid is the point. It's not a good format for media analysis or consumption. I see some like good like political stuff on TikTok every once in a while, but also like back in the day, the comment sections were really bad because you could only do like 30 words a comment or some shit, and so you couldn't really respond to anything anyone was saying, and the things people were saying tended to be really vapid, and it just overall sucked. It just the main thing that always reeked to me is that people don't understand why they're emotionally invested in what they're emotionally invested in, and when they try to express it, all they can do is speak in superlatives. All they can do is call it the best thing ever. Oh, I can't even put into words how good it is. Oh, I can't even... It leads to them overrating something just because they don't know how they... Sorry, my cat just turned off my freaking mic. Yeah, it leads to them overrating something just because they don't know how to put it into words. Like, they can't think of how to express why they like it, so they're just going to say, I can't find the words, so there are no words. It's just that good. It's transcendental. It just reeks of people who don't really understand their taste that well, because if they did, they wouldn't be so obsessed with just proclaiming it to the world with no further analysis. It's people who just talk about liking stuff more than they talk about why they like it. And that's sort of the essence of it, and why those short form content, Mediatok bullshit is terrible. It's also just, don't get too obsessed with the ranking. Don't get too obsessed with comparing a painting to a manga, to an anime, to a song, to a 4.5 minute long interval of silence. It's not that serious. It's fun to put things in lists, but at the end of the day, kind of, it's like, I start to question if you really love it the way I do when you get too obsessed with it. You know, it's like, all right, well, we're not talking about the list here. We're talking about like the thing we love. We're talking about like the media we love watching and the media we love learning from and what we've learned from it and what we think about it. There's so many interesting conversations to be had that I hate it when people kind of focus on relegating the art to a number. It's like, oh, you really don't care about this. You just care about how it reflects you and your own image. That's about all I have to say on this one. Blah, blah.